Alright, people, Shivam back here again with another video, and this time it's on rotations. It's the rotation story problem. Alright, and the rotation story problem is divided into two parts, and this is part 1. Later in this video, you will see part 2, which would be another Microsoft whiteboard. Yeah, another Microsoft whiteboard environment, I guess. Alright, let's start part 1. So part 1 says the Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engine has a fan/blade of length 58 inches from the rotor, spinning 13,240 times per minute. Rolls-Royce Design Center wants the highest thrust with least fuel used. They have found a way to achieve it, but for that they want to calculate the angular velocity and the maximum speed in miles per hour in curly brackets. Oh, not curly brackets, in round brackets with 58 inches of fan/blades. Help them to calculate it. So first of all, what we are going to do is find the angular velocity, and before we go and do that, we are going to see what we are given. So we have the length from the rotor, which is 58 inches. So that's going to be our radius. Radius equals to 58 inches. Then we have rotors and spinning 13,240 times per minute. So that's the RPM, of course. So that's RPM equals 13,240 per minute. It's rotations per minute, so let's just write that. Alright, so we have two things right here with us, and now what we're going to do is calculate the angular velocity. So right, for now I'll just take this and smaller it out and keep it on the top left corner so that it's going to give me more space to work with. Alright, so angular velocity is simply the angle per time. So it's denoted as W equals theta over time. Now theta is going to be 13240. That's one whole rotation over a minute. Let me write this. This is rotations. Then what we're going to do is multiply it by 2 pi over 1 rotation. So this is converting from 13,240 to radians. So rotations cancel out and we are left with these two. Now we are also going to further multiply it by 1 minute per second, because since I forgot to mention this, we want to find the angular velocity in radians per second. So this is 60 seconds. So 1 minute, so 1 minute cancels out, and what we are left with is 13,240 times 2 pi all over 60 seconds. Now 2 pi is radians, of course, so we're going to write that. So 13,240 times 2 gives us 26480 pi over 60, and it's fairly good to keep it in this way only for now. We can just condense it down to like 2648 divided by 6, and this would be pi right here. Yeah, so we can have it like this, and I can take this one off for now. Alright, so we have found our angular velocity, which is right here. Oops. Alright, now comes the main thing, which is speed. Now, speed is linear velocity. So I'm going to again shorten this down. Keep this aside for now. And now let's do speed. So speed is simply your angular velocity. So speed is denoted as v, of course. So it equals to angular velocity times the radius. So linear, this is 2648, that's your angular velocity, pi over 6 times 58, since our radius was 58 inches. So if we calculate that, we are going to get how much? Let's see. So it gives us 80,416.39, and now we are going to convert this. So before we convert it, let me tell you what this unit is. So this unit is inches per second, and we want speed in miles per hour. So this is 8416.39 inches per second, and we want to make it into miles per hour. So 60 seconds is 1 hour. Sorry, nope, not 1 hour, it's 1 minute. Then we do one more, then 60 minutes is 1 hour. And to convert from inches to miles, it is 1 mile over 63360 inches. This shall give you 4569.11 miles per hour. So there you go, that's your speed. Alright, so I'll pause the recording now and go over to the second part of the problem. Alright, so we are back to part 2 now, and we're going to go through it and work through the whole part 2. So RR Rolls-Royce now wants to calculate if doubling the length of the fan slash blades would help them achieve more thrust with least fuel used. Recalculate the angular velocity and speed with 116 inches of blades slash fans. They say that doubling the length will produce more thrust, but at the same time, what would be the disadvantages of it? So it asks for theoretical and practical answers. Alright, let's walk through it. So now it says that the radius is going to be 116 inches. We are simply going to repeat the whole process from the beginning. And we had original rotations per minute as, RPM equals to 13 to 40. If you want to write, you can write this rotations per minute like this. Alright, now what they want to find if doubling the length would help them achieve more. So we are pretty much going to find what is the change from the original one and after doubling the length in angular velocity and speed. So we are going to do the same thing. Angular velocity equals to theta over t, which is time, equals to 13240 over a minute times 2 pi over 60, and we want to make it into radians per second, so we have to do 1 minute over a second. So a minute cancels. Yeah, this was rotations, and I don't know why I did 60, and this is one rotation. So rotations cancel out, so we are now left with 26480 over 60. This is supposed to be 60 here. Pi radians per second. So we have find out the angular velocity, of course, and there's no change in it because it stays the same. The rotations per minute has stayed the same. If there was a change in the rotations per minute, the angular velocity would have for sure changed. Since it has not, it just stays the same. Alright, for now I'm just going to keep this on the side. And now we are going to find out the speed, aka linear velocity. So that's defined as v equals angular velocity times the radius equals 26480 over 60. So this was pi right here. Now let's work on the units for a second. So this is radians, this is seconds, and we want it into miles per hour. The speed has to be in miles per hour. So what we are going to do, we're going to first convert the time. So this is going to be 60 seconds a minute, and then again 60 minutes an hour. Then we do 58. Oh nope, it's not 58, it's 116 because we have doubled it up. This is 58 inches. And yes, that's that. Or actually we can do this now. We can convert it from now only. So this is going to be 1 mile over 63360 inches. So that's your whole conversion factors. And when we calculate all of this inside your beloved calculator, it's going to give us is 2908.78 miles per hour. So 78 bar. So we can just say it as like 79 because it's repeating. So 2908.79 miles per hour. There we go. That's our speed. So the speed, in fact, if you look at from it was from the original one. So we had the, let's say this V1 was from the last one. It was 4569.11 miles per hour. The current one we have is 2908.79. It has changed, of course, but we have to find how much it has changed. So the final 2908.79 minus 4569.11 Oops. And so after we calculate all of this, negative 0.3633793014. So we're just going to round it to the two decimal places. And if we want to find the percentage, we can just make it into 100, which gives us 36%. So it has changed by a negative 36%. Alright, so since we have found out the change percentage right here, that's what we wanted to find out, which is minus 36%. Now we have to answer the last question. They say that doubling the length will produce more thrust, but at the same time, what would be the disadvantages of it? Now, theoretically, we have proven it that the speed is decreasing and they wanted like more thrust. So to produce more thrust, you want more speed with less fuel used, the least fuel used. So that's one big disadvantage right there. It's reducing the speed, and they don't want to reduce the speed at this point. And now practically it would be very bad if you double the length, because doubling the length of the blades slash fan would increase more and more weight. And if you do like more of the scientific things, such as I mean, there's one written down here which is thrust, and then gravitational force, gravitational acceleration, weight distribution, and all of it. If you do all of those workouts and variable calculations, it's going to give you like really bad results. So that's my practical answer there. I know that it's not very supportive, but in general, it would help you a lot if you find out your thrust, your gravitational acceleration, your weight distribution, all of it. That would help you a lot. There we go. Hope this helps. Boom.